Exactly. That's what I'm saying, and I could see it before you do. But it's not a bad thing, brother. You look, you kicked me so many times, and you still let me back. So I know. I mean, I don't know.
I'm somebody said that I'm quick to throw people in the dungeon, but
No, because you're a good guy. You're
I don't
actually a
hold a
good
grudge.
guy. It's just, you know what? You know what I've been seeing, Flo?
Huh.
A lot of people don't respect your intellect because
All
I know
right.
you're very opinionated, but it's relevant and it's precise and concise. And a
I
lot of
appreciate
people can accept that. Don't get gas yet, stupid.
that.
I'm not even done. You know what? Go ahead.
No. Keep talking. You were doing good.
Oh, you just want more
You know what?
pats
I'll
on
just
the
I'll
back.
just put myself backstage. You two can talk about your favorite thing
No,
about me.
no, you want. God damn it! You just want pats on the back. I get it.
You want patty
It's
pats on
your
the back.
turn.
I'm sorry.
I'm
It's
just kidding.
early in the morning.
Oh, how you doing, Miss Lady? I don't even know you. I think I see
Hey,
you somewhere before, though. You
She
seem
comes
like
from
somewhere,
fatty side,
somewhere.
maybe somewhere. I don't know. I don't
and she's
pop
been
up a
over here
lot.
a couple times.
Yeah, I don't pop up a lot. It's just a
Every
lot of
once in a while, I'll come over here and
yeah. I see you've been doing your thing and all that, but a lot of people hate me, so I hope they don't hate you.
well,
It is what it is, bro. You know what? When people hate you, and it's like a weird ratio, that means you're doing something okay, and you're bringing controversy.
Yeah, or you're just succeeding. Like people just if nobody
Yeah,
hates.
yeah. It's not an echo chamber.
Yo,
Yo, they go fatty. Hey, yo, fatty, man.
some dude. Before you start,
I'm not
don't.
even starting.
No, no,
You
no.
already
I'm just
started.
saying. I'm just saying this in advance.
All right.
Please don't make this about fatty and some dude.
Oh,
Okay,
it's never,
please.
bro. Come
Please.
on, man.
No
Relax.
compliments. No,
You
I
trying to
like
before it
him.
was happening.
No, I like just. I
Ah,
know.
yeah. To the side, my guy.
Yes. So just
Thank
thank you.
you.
Good
See
morning
how
to you
easy that
too.
is?
Good morning to Genesis. Good morning to
Man, it
Fusti.
ain't even morning where you
I
at,
think
listen,
man.
It's
I think
literally 10
that
p.m.
was a
10 a.m.
that was a pretty good takedown. I thought.
it's
Hey,
3:56
hey,
here.
hey, 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 Flo. We are catching them bad.
What you mean,
You see what
fat?
I'm saying? Like we are actually catching them. The only thing that is not making the blow land is because though, like the crowd is a bunch of dick suckers. I
Numbers,
really thought they were intelligent. They just dick
dude.
sucking.
But look, if this is so much different from 2 years ago, though.
Yup,
Like think about 2 years ago.
yup,
2 years ago, I couldn't step foot at Glenn Lawrence's, for instance, without immediately getting dropped because I wasn't part of the cult.
yup.
So
All right, hey,
salute
But
to
we're
everybody,
getting there. We're
huh?
yo,
getting there.
fatty, yo, fatty. Let me tell you something, man.
Oh,
You
here
came
we go.
along,
Come on, chill.
bro. This is
Some
a
dude I ask you to not do that.
it's the
And you
intellectual.
jinxed him right with that action right there. You set him straight
Yeah, it
up.
was a bait, but no, this is a good thing, bro. You came a long way, man. You really did, and I hope you keep that forward momentum.
Thank you.
Seriously.
But
Fatty
there's
puts in the work. I think I don't remember. Maybe it was Sarah. I don't know. Talking to somebody, but we agreed that if anybody deserves to make it, it's Fatty.
no, but the
Oh
thing
yeah,
Flo, is that
let you
like
work hard like James Brown hard.
because the thing Flo is that we are not dumb. I don't think we are like NBA elite talent, but if we practice with these dudes long enough, we kind of like
Yeah.
keep going and going and going and going and
Yo,
going and
Fatty, you
going.
know what that's called in English? Condition and response and repetition.
I'm just
Learn those three words and you'll understand.
it just I didn't and on the
You
other
do now. You came a long way, man. I'm not mad at you at all, man. We ain't enemies or nothing.
thank you very much, some dude.
Don't
You are
get gas.
breaching you
Don't
are
get
breaching
gas. Don't get
you,
gas,
you
bro.
are breaching rule number two.
What do you mean?
Don't compliment me for no reason.
Oh, okay. My bad.
That was rule number two.
All right. No, I don't even know your rules, so fuck that.
No, I literally told you when I got here. I saw you
I
says,
don't
"Hey,
listen to your dumbass. Don't
you see what
start.
I'm saying? Hey, Flo, I'm sorry. I'm trying.
no, you're
Nah, come on, stay, brother. Come
No, no,
on, man.
no.
Nah, we good. We
No,
good,
I'm
brother.
not leaving. I'm just saying, like, you have
Oh, you
these.
adjusting your cameras and all that. You fancy as hell. I get it.
I'm confused.
here's the gnashing of teeth.
Damn. but it feels good and you know what actually happened, Flo? It was the Rob dude. I was supposed to be surprise debater, and when I went there and I was debating him because he was the guy.
On his channel.
It was Jake. So what happened was this: I was doing pretty well because he didn't know my positions, so I was on offense all the time. And then Jake says, "Oh, did you know that Fatty is a big Bernie, bro?" And after that was, "What about Bernie? What about Bernie? What about Bernie? What about Bernie?" I concede, I concede, I concede. And was like, why is he conceding? Doesn't that mean that conceding that I'm winning? And the concessions was just to get you on a contradiction because they don't want to defend their positions. They don't want to be on the defense. So they will make a motherfucking hypothetical so you can go over there and they can send the ball to the other side. And I was like, oh,
Wait a minute. Wait a
I
goddamn
figured it out.
minute,
This is
Fatty.
hey,
Fatty? No,
Flo,
no,
you have bounties, right?
no,
Yes, I do.
Fatty. I want to know. Can you pronounce a H?
Anybody on the panel can be dropped or revived for $1 a minute, $5 minimum. Except for me, I'm $2 a minute. Either way, but you can kick me off my own panel.
We're going to do $20 for missing some dude real quick.
I like that.
So you see, Flo, I don't think it's about knowledge. It's just that I think finally, at least for me, I understand exactly what this shit is. Is a big got you moment. That's all it is.
All right,
Thank
and some dude is backstage for 20 minutes, so I'll bring you back up.
No. Sorry,
21.
23 minutes because this is Heroes, so we have to
23 minutes, so you'll come back up at $24.
$20 exactly.
24, unless somebody wants to pay to revive him, is $24 US.
Yes, and I just want to say one thing. The reason I know that we are making them bleed is because as soon as we catch them on something, they start with, what is the definition of antenna? What is the definition of ceiling? Oh, so now you don't want to have the conversation. I see you.
Yeah, and
That's
and if you notice, if they start specifically trying to, like in the debate part, if they start specifically aiming at one member of the team,
and one person. That's what he did. I was like, I think I got him. And then he said, you know what? Let me talk with this dude again for 30 minutes about shit that I talked with him before and punch him and punch him and punch him and punch him. But they are not doing this to win. They are doing this for the sake of the conversation. Come on, man.
I think the
Bad
cool
split
thing though,
debaters do true.
the cool thing about this though is that it forces you to figure out your own belief or views in a way to where you can just march that motherfucker straight through because it's bulletproof.
Yep. And he got mad as fuck because I played the same game. Hey, Fatty, do you believe? What is a belief? Can you explain to me what a belief is? Why do you get mad for us to do that to you, but Andrew was doing that the whole show when you don't say nothing? Makes no sense. What's up, podcast?
What up, Phil?
Damn, you
Who
sound
got
like you
here?
were. And
I want
see-
to like show y'all like this. I want to see what y'all think about this. This is on my page.
Hey, DJ Genesis, you are one of the worst. Let's see something. Because it's always terrible.
Okay, and you can kiss my ass.
As long as it's not especially long or copyrighted, I'm good with it.
No, it's on my channel, so it's not copyrighted. So whatever.
Oh, so
I
you
think you
recorded
get your
Another
hooks in
language
it.
that you don't know the history of where
you
it
see?
come from. This is a study that Cole and I did and been
Now,
teaching out
he's
these
80
studies
years old.
since '98, and this is some history and stuff that people don't understand. All governments is a secret society. There's no government that you can name is not ran by a secret society.
All of them.
It's not, all of them. Now,
just need
the
to-
next thing-
Before you go further, I first want to say, okay, how young are you, sir? Right. So he's an 80-year-old guy. They did the research. So he's saying that all governments are a part of a secret society.
How is this relevant?
Is this going somewhere, or are you just trying to hijack?
I agree with you,
just thought it'd be an
Miss
interesting
Ma'am, who I haven't
topic.
met
So
before. I agree
what
with
do
you.
y'all
However,
think?
this
I'm gonna
video is an
stop
hour and a
it.
half.
So if you think it's
See-
bullshit, whatever.
I mean,
She
video
always
is an hour and a half,
does this shit, and the worst part
Patty,
is
be quiet. You always running your goddamn mouth
No,
about
no,
what
no.
I'm doing. Shut up, bro.
No.
I don't. Nobody asked you what your
No,
opinion
it's
is
not.
about
It's
what
not.
I'm
No, I'm
doing.
sorry. Let
Well-
me just say. Let me just say something real quick. It's not that you do it. It's that you are ugly and fat too. So that's crazy. Like,
And
is
so
you,
are you.
How can you be
because you got
free?
your little
Like, it's a
fucking
struggle.
Michael
This
Jordan
struggle.
hat
You
on.
are ugly, fat, and you give
Listen,
bad
I
videos
just don't
to
have
you.
the
It's
lighting and
crazy.
everything like that that you gotta put up there to
Just
make yourself look
pick
like
a
you're
struggle.
attractive. Shut
You're
up.
annoying. Sorry,
You're
go ahead.
annoying, bitch ass nigga.
Woo! There's your baby daddy.
Yeah.
DJ Genesis, I don't disagree with what you were saying about it. However, that video is an hour and a half long. Which
No, I was only gonna play a little bit of it. I just wanted to like play a part of it.
If
and
you
talk
want to
about the
put it
government
backstage, I'll drop it
and
in the main
about
link.
the actual is the government a part of us? It is the government like a secret society. I was
And
not gonna
Rocky
play
is
the whole
Rocky
thing.
is
But
gesturing
Fatty
at
is
us for
such a
something.
jealous bitch ass nigga that he always gotta like
I'm not that
try
jealous. You
try
are
to like
you
because
are
he
one
want
of
everything
the
to be
few
about
people
him
better
and his
than me.
little
How can I be
debate, whatever
jealous?
the hell he talking about. And the debate's over, bro.
You know what, Flow State? Since I didn't pass you the ball the last debate that we did together, drop Genesis for 10 minutes too.
Bro, I was sick as fuck then. So
I noticed that you were like kind of leaning back. I was like, why is he so quiet?
I meant to say something. I appreciate you carrying the team because I was not doing shit that day. And pew pew pew.
I'm gonna kill you. I think I'm gonna kill you.
Genesis is down till what is that? Is that 12?
Let's go with this is almost $100. Now you can do 10. You can do less. You
All
can
right,
do 10.
so till 26. So we got 24 till some dude and 26 till Genesis. Unless somebody would like to be a gentleman.
Somebody crazy. I don't take Genesis, by the way. I just think that if you're fat and ugly, you should at least be precise when you share videos with people because you're wasting people.
You said that all
You can be the three of them. You can just come on, man.
Our secret societies. I think there's a lot of secret society shit going on in the government, but I do believe that God's government is not secret. He tells you about his government in the scriptures.
What about God?
Doesn't secret society to read the scriptures and know about the kingdom of heaven. So, yeah, not all.
Hey, Rocky, what do you think? Are these secret societies religious, Rocky?
Yes, they are. They're Kabbalic, the Cabal.
So they're evil, right?
Religion is just having beliefs that, you do rituals and I don't know. Religion, I'm not a religious person.
Yes,
but
you are.
Wait, you are not a religious person?
No, I have a relationship with God, but I'm not religious.
Yeah, but it's not in a vacuum. It's through a religious structure, which is Christianity.
Yeah. Okay. You could define me as the true religion. There can only be one true religion. There can't be.
You don't believe in Christ?
Yes, I do believe in Christ.
So are you not religious?
Hey, Rocky, I got a question. Did you hear about the Christian guy that crucified a pastor?
Not
in
this
Arizona?
guy. God damn.
Uh-oh.
What's up, Rocky? How are you doing, buddy?
Duck, your reputation precedes you.
For some reason.
Well, I mean, Rocky, you can drop him for $1 a minute. I'm just saying. What would Jesus do? Probably drop him.
If it helps Katie, I'll be dropped. I'm fine with it. I'll take it like a man. I'll spin around a little bit. Y'all know that. I don't do pictures. I do
You're starting to
videos.
sound like Rob Noor.
If I was Rob Noor, I'd have to have this high voice, and I would bounce around in my chair for 3 hours, and that's how I keep my audience engaged.
Hey, Rob really got.
Wait, hold on, Duck? Are you describing like a snake charmer? How the way they work?
No, that's Rob Noor to a T. He's like an old-timey con man that picked up a debate book. No offense.
Rob really got mad when everybody was starting to talk about him rubbing Andrew balls. He really didn't like that shit. He really doesn't like that shit. I'm like, come on, man. We just fucking with you, man. What the hell?
Oh, my God.
And I'm not gay because I have a wife and have a kid. Nobody thinks you're gay, baby.
Deny it harder. It's convincing us more. Like if I made a YouTube channel, I called it "I am not gay." What would you think about me?
That you are not gay.
That you like to think about elephants.
You're probably the last.
Let me rephrase it. What do you think about everybody at the Westboro Baptist Church?
Man. That's crazy.
They're in the closet.
He really got upset about this shit. That was funny as fuck.
Fatty equals evil AI entity. Damn.
I'm not friends with Rob Noor, but he's been in the same space as me for he started on Twitch.
Yeah, no,
he's one of the
I've
most professional debaters that
I haven't really interacted with him much before, but I do like him from what I've seen about him and know about him. So
I don't have a problem with the dude. I actually think that most of those guys are good dudes. They just are terrible people when they start debating. I actually admire this hint of camaraderie. You see what I'm saying? But as soon as they get on the panel, they are insufferable because they do some bullshit, and then when you call it out, they say, "Oh, you are doing it too." Where do you think we learned it from?
The only thing about Rob specifically is he's very long-winded. So
that's why I was saying at first. I was saying that before I decided that they had sexual tension, I was saying that he and Fatty could be half brothers because they both can go and go and go and go and go.
That's what she said.
There are a lot of people like that in the space, though. That you just that's good for content, though. I mean,
I don't think that I speak concisely. I think, don't I? Yeah.
2 hours. 2 hours is like I think is like it's okay to crash out after 2 hours. If you go earlier, kind of
on a panel or solo.
Either way, right? Like, it just seems weird to start a conversation. Okay, I don't think you can have a conversation in less than an hour, right? You might pick and choose a couple people in the audience or comments you're responding to, but solo, at least solo. I mean, the longest I've done now is 2 hours, but 1 hour. If you don't do an hour, why even go? Why would you watch a person that doesn't care about that? Right.
I mean, 10-minute videos, I think, are the sweet spot for YouTube, technically, for what people watch. An hour is an investment that not everyone's willing to take all the time.
Pre-recorded videos is 10 to 30 minutes. That's a sweet spot.
Yeah. I've been told it's 8 to 12.
Like Fatty was saying, these debates are not conversations, and people mistake them for conversations.
Yeah, how are you gonna debate about Jesus Christ, your Lord and Savior, in less than an hour? Though that was my only point. Is
I mean, why are you debating about something like that? That just if you look at religious experiences as an isolated thing, you have to recognize that this is not something that's universal or recreatable or within our control. If somebody has a personal religious experience, then they'd also be aware that this is their personal religious experience. Not everybody had the same thing, and so it's not transferable.
Let me ask you this question though, BD.
Mm-hmm.
Even if I grant you that the debates aren't conversation, what's the actual point of them though?
It's a combat performance, basically.
Content.
Is the Coliseum.
It's content.
Yeah,
it's 100% content
with an underlying subject matter.
I mean, yeah. You have to. I mean,
you can have real conversations,
but the factuality of your
content.
of your words is not the primary thing.
And that's what I was saying to Rob. Why do you keep giving hypotheticals when we have real situations literally in front of your face that you can discuss? It's because they want to get you. He's passing the ball to the side, pass the ball so you can get distracted. And as soon as they distract you, now you are on defense because you are responding with you rather fuck a whoop you rather fuck a 8-year-old or a 10-year-old. Pick one.
Right.
Pick one. You know what?
Shock and awe questions.
You know, remind me podcast. It reminds me of the jigsaw shit. Oh, I want to play a game. Do you want to lose your arm or do you want to lose your head? Pick one.
You know, the jigsaw thing is sort of exactly the Christian paradigm, right? You're in a game that you didn't choose, and if you lose, you're fucked.
Mm.
I want to play a game. Did the British murder the natives? Let me give you an hypothetical, Fatty. If you were in China holding an umbrella, what do you think? Okay.
But
What
Fatty,
is murder, Fatty? What do you mean by
Fatty,
greed?
Fatty, to actually like get that story out though, you have to talk about cum. At some point in time, you have to. If you're
That's
not
what
talking
they
about
did.
cum, you're not going to do anything ever.
It's pretty
ever.
gay.
That's it. That's all I got.
But Jumbo.
I mean, it makes more sense than a lot of religious stuff I hear.
Wait, if you don't support us in our abolition of all cum warriors, then you're not on the side of right. Well,
Did I just hear the word? Did I just hear the phrase "cum warriors"?
That's literally what they were going to the whole time, man. Every time
Is the Coomer shit. But you know what's funny? How can the people that are literally justifying the murder and the pillage and the raping of a whole land, the people that are saying you are a degenerate because you don't believe in God? Wait, what? So you are defending that and I'm the degenerate? Okay. I see what you're doing.
Yeah. And I think that something that's missed about morality is that a lot of times the reason that some of these decisions or situations are difficult is because you're choosing between, say, helping your kid at the expense of, just as a random example, you have to choose, right? Do I feed my kid? Do I steal from the neighbor to feed my kid? Right? These sort of scenarios where,
yes,
yeah,
Yes, I agree too. Yeah,
and that's why you have to introduce greed, because if you are talking about greed, there's no survival, there's no justification. You are just doing it because
I don't even know that I think greed is a good metric because that's subjective too.
Yeah, but Fatty, can you demonstrate how the Portuguese kidnapping slaves was not just self-defense? Can you demonstrate that for me?
I can prove it. I'm sorry. Like, let me check GPT real quick.
Oh, you and the chat GPT stuff gotta go. That's
but Denise, I know you're joking, but you just saw that shit.
That was the last thing I saw, and then I went and did something else because I couldn't
I
take
was
that
like,
shit.
they went there to get gold and get sugar cane. He was like, put it on the phrase. I don't understand it. Can you explain it? I don't know.
And what I loved was I'm engaging with you in good faith, Fatty.
Yes.
I really am.
Because he got him and Marty actually proved it. He got, and that's why he went back to the
Marty. He's too sweet of a guy for
is extra nice. Marty
Bob
is
that he's asked himself
that is
with.
complete bullshit. That's total bullshit. You guys
He's
are
not nice.
Marte go off. No,
I have
Marty is nice as fuck. It's just a part of the game. But
look, I believe Duck too because all people who are super nice, they got a side.
I'm not gonna lie, Fatty. I think I said it in PD's chat. You did a really good job tonight.
Thank you.
I've rarely ever seen anybody be able to expose that flaw.
Which one?
In Andrew's debating style. And I mean, he made a very bigoted comment a few weeks ago that like really turned me off from him at this point. I'm putting that out there just in case anybody knows my content, because I don't want them to say this is coming from a place of bias, because it's not. But at the same time, Fatty knows that I was a champion of Andrew's debating style for a while.
Absolutely.
But tonight, you got him to admit that there is no honesty when it comes to debating. And to me, at this point, it's like, well, now I can't trust you, right? Even if I didn't already have an issue with them, I wouldn't be able to trust you. You know what I'm saying? And to me, that makes it very difficult. I was just watching that debate between Candace Owen and some rabbi, Shimoni or something. And it was like every time that something came up to show that he wasn't being genuine or or even debating in good faith. It's like, well, how can I trust you? And you were able to expose that every single time where you would say something or answer something, and then they would goalpost move, or like you say something like demonstrated or this or that, even when you had actually already demonstrated it. I've never seen that done before. It was a really good job.
Can I ask you a question?
I swear I'm almost done.
Can I?
And you did
No,
it
that
without being loud. And you did it without being loud or aggressive or angry. You know what I'm saying? So I just want to give you kudos on that.
I appreciate it. I was trying to point it out to the crowd because these motherfuckers gaslight you to the point where you think you're crazy. You think you do a good job, and then you go read the comments, and there's 400 comments says, he's gay.
Right.
Andrew killed him. I'm like, what?
Right.
Andrew wins again.
Are you guys seeing what I'm seeing? Like, you guys supposed to be the most intelligent people on this space. Yeah. Why is it such a dick fight?
Orthodox? The ortho book?
Genesis, stop talking shit about me in the chat. God damn it.
Thank you, Fatty, for keeping the cash flowing. And the rest of you freeloaders.
Maybe you need to donate some freaking money. Donate. Maybe you need to donate some freaking money. Maybe you need to donate some freaking money. Donate. Maybe you need to donate some freaking money. Donate some freaking money.
But those comments really fuck you up because it can they really gaslight you. I remember that with Anton, but Anton was not that bad because there were like 15 people on the chat saying, y'all are just dick riding because he has clout. With him, did I do that bad? That's crazy.
Yeah, it's weird.
So I got a question though about Andrew, and I don't mean to pull race into it. This really isn't about race, but
it's about to be about race, isn't it?
You know what it's going to be about now?
There you go. Just a little bit. Just a little bit. Okay.
I wonder what it's actually about.
Hold on. First, tell how your best friend is black. Go ahead. All right, now go.
Okay. Yeah. No, I used to watch Robot Chicken with my black friend. Okay.
You're covered now.
Okay. Mea culpa. So, okay, there's a huge difference, and black people in the United States know this. There's a huge difference between having a reason to say something or believe something and having evidence to say something or believe something. Mm-hmm. And so black people heard this for centuries, right? They heard this for centuries. Well, you may the old racists, you may have a reason you don't like it, but that don't mean you got evidence that this is actually any different or worse off, right?
Is that true?
Yeah, like just imagine it's true for a second.
Okay.
And so
I've never heard this before.
So my point
that's
is
because you're not black.
If we go into this debate with that Andrew just had, he's talking about taking away people's land and rights. If you're gonna make those types of claims, you have to have both a reason, you have to have reasons and evidence to be heard in that room. And he didn't have either of those things. He had his my force doctrine. And if I look at my very nice Shure MH357, well, it turns out, see, I don't have reasons or evidence. I have force doctrine, right?
Does anybody know what the hell he's talking about and how it's racist?
And
I want to hear more about the racism, Duck. Bring it back to that.
The force doctrine is not moral.
It's specifically like does not engage the moral conversation.
Yes, it doesn't engage. Like, is irrelevant because your Bible doesn't tell you that the strongest is the strongest of the fittest. Actually, it's the opposite.
But I do think it's interesting that if anything was demonstrated tonight, aside from the fact that me and Fatty are the Antichrist, it's that force. There is no such thing as morals, right? There's a lot of talk about there's no such thing as rights. You could use the exact same argument chain as Andrew did. Andrew basically demonstrated there is no such thing as morals.
If you believe, I'm not a fan. So I say this all just because he's explaining something doesn't mean that he agrees with it. But the force doctrine is probably the most immoral shit that you can put out there.
I agree.
Because it's not about right or wrong. It's not about morals and turn the other cheek and love your neighbor. Is if I'm stronger than you, I'm taking it. Boo hoo, cry me a river.
Actually,
yeah,
Ford's
that's
doctrine
exactly
would.
it. It's describing a reality, not morality. It's just reality. No, it's
It
not
would-
an ought.
It would
Yeah,
be
but
proper
that's why-
That's an is,
right?
But
If
that's
a
why we
natural-
didn't understand why he was using that today on the morality thing, because
Well, what's
It's
wild
an
about it to
incomplete.
me is
Wait,
that-
Grumple, real quick. I want to try something. Grumple, it's not a complete is,
Don't make it
even
gay.
though it is an is
You're
that
right.
someone is saying is a certain way. If you actually take force doctrine seriously, then you have to look at the reciprocal of violence, which, as it turns out, is more violence, it's more anger, it's more hatred, it's more competition. And so when you wonder why you have a competitive is statement about game theory and about thinking rationally, about looking at possible options,
Okay.
you're not actually saying that with force doctrine. You're saying, well, it is wherever I put it and whatever it is that I say it is.
No, you can't tell me where I put anything because you don't know where I put it. But how
Super
police
pause.
how police and military work, it's force doctrine. It's they have the guns,
The monopoly
they
on
have,
force.
they have the monopoly on violence.
It's the
So
claim
you're
of
gonna-
force doctrine.
You're gonna do what they say or repercussions.
Cage
That
or
seems like a really
mace.
irrational. Sorry,
Pepper
let me
spray.
just close this out. Grumple, that just sounds incredibly irrational when you're saying I'm going to up the stakes, and because of this,
Wait, hang on.
I'm
Stop.
therefore
No,
going
it's
to think
He
less
described
about my
reality to you, and your
less
response
about
is
my
that's
own
irrational.
because of this.
Thank
That
you.
doesn't
That-
make
that-
any sense.
That's
Now
kind of
we have guns, now we
infuriating,
have
brother.
knives, now we have
literally
planes, now we have
described reality.
helicopters.
I literally described a reality to you and why you're saying it's irrational.
But
Yeah.
it's not the system of law.
Boing,
that
boing,
we
So
boing,
I
boing.
just
subscribe
explained
to.
it to you. Did I not
It's
explain
not
it to you once?
prescriptive.
Two
It's
different
descriptive.
people. I'm sorry. Arms out. I don't.
You probably should have let him tell you where to put it. You fucked up the whole thing by cutting him off
Not the
because
intended purpose of the system. The intended purpose of the system is not force doctrine. The intended purpose of the system is peace over force. In other words, we exercise a peaceful solution before we go to force. The force is
Rick,
just
I think tonight is the smartest you've ever sounded.
Thank you.
that's actually the moral point. Is the
Yeah.
threat of force, not the force in itself.
Yes.
And
I
if
think-
you actually think about it, I think the force doctrine kind of is anti-religion, because like
It's the
don't you have to
implication.
like doesn't Christian Bible say that you have to respect the laws of the land? If
it says render unto Caesar.
What do you mean by that?
Fatty, I got this. I
That
went through
it's
this.
not my. I'm not concerned with the law. You know, I'm not here to preach the law. The laws of men, and it's God's message.
This is a 3-week debate. I do a men's small group Bible study out of my church. This is literally like 3 weeks. We do once a week. This is literally 3 weeks on this exact topic.
Do you
And
drink that though?
Hang on, let me land it. No, I didn't because so where we ended up was it's the law of the land is as ordained from on high, but then if you change it via revolution or something, then now your law is new. Now the new law of the land. So that is also what was meant to happen.
So international. So for example, what
Super weird.
Russia is doing to Ukraine, doesn't that go against, like, you have to follow the law of the land when it comes to the Bible?
Perfect
That's like
example.
the international.
It's going against the yes, governments are ordained, I guess is the way to maybe say it.
Once
And,
you win, it goes from
if-
being immoral to moral.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
exactly.
God hates
Split circle.
Nazis, so all of this is supported by the Christians.
Did you guys hear tonight? Candace Owens was talking about how the
Oh my God, you're going to change the conversation again.
president was married to a
Drop her
transgender,
again.
and that
Drop
Trump
her.
actually
$5. Drop
actually
her.
said
She did it with like a
Yeah.
tone and an ease, as though it was part of the ongoing conversation too.
Like Grumple was written.
It's like
that she like.
no. I'm trying to talk about. I'm talking.
it was like
Fatty,
hypnosis.
Why you want to be the only Negro on
Hey,
there?
like fuck all that
no
shit y'all
other
were
niggas
talking
on the
about, but you
channel,
guys
huh?
hear about this shit over
Every time
here?
another nigga get on the
Drop
channel, you gonna say
her.
something and let them
This man was literally talking about this group and what he was debating, and she came.
All right, real quick, little logistics here. I see whoever's trying to kick the door in. We are a full panel. So drops over. I'll start kicking people out of studio altogether if Fur drops over 10 minutes. She's only dropped for 5, so I'm not going to kick her all the way
no,
out.
I got you, Flo. Come on, Flo. You know.
Okay.
Come on, Flo.
Okay.
Come on, Flo. I got you, Flo.
All right.
Let's kick her out of the fucking studio.
DJ Genesis, you can come back in. You can come back in.
13 minutes, because he's heroes.
Yeah, come
Let's
back
go.
up in 10 minutes. I want to talk to you. I want to hear your Candace Owens
With
bullshit story in a
Genesis?
couple
No,
minutes.
you don't want to talk with her.
I want to hear that one.
At
So
I want to hear that one.
So Fatty, I do want to ask y'all a question, because it's one thing that I always wish I could be on a panel to debate with Andrew about, which is this idea that as a quote unquote secularist, right? Where does your morals come from, right? And that, well, as a Christian, they can always go just say, my morals come from God, right? What's your
So you're a masochist.
What's your perception of that tactic in debate? Do you think that is a logical argument?
Yes, I don't think it's logical podcast. So what I kind of learned was, since they call us degenerates and say that we don't have no morals, is actually a great position to stick with that shit. Because now you don't have to play defense. Yeah, I don't have no morals. Yes, I'm a secular. I don't believe in nothing. I don't know where my morals come from. So yeah, I'm the key. I do whatever the fuck I want. But your beliefs tell you that you have to oblige to certain standards and morals because we have the Bible and all that. So instead of rejecting it or try to figure out where your morals come from, I don't even choose a position. I say, yeah, you're right. I don't know where my morals comes from. So it's whatever I fucking say. And if you want to talk about it, you can talk about it. But the reality is, I will always point out that you're bragging about having a stronger morals compass and a stronger moral sense because you are Christian and you believe in the Bible. I don't know if it works. I'm just saying that it's been working on the last few weeks. Most people might have a counter or something like that, but leaning into it, they can do a lot about it because if you have nothing, they can attack nothing.
I think that I would go about it by pointing out that we're both in the same spot, because my decision to choose my arbitrary morals, which they're not actually, I have a system, but just for the sake of conversation, my arbitrary decision on morality is no different than your arbitrary decision on which religion to follow, right? It's all held up by the same thing, which is I make the choice.
Flo, you know what I said? I said, don't do unto others what you don't want to be done to you. My morality is, I don't grape you because I don't want you to grape my mama. I don't steal from you because I don't want to steal from me. And they said, oh, this is in the Bible. See, you are a Christian believer. I was like, okay, I'm not saying this shit anymore.
See, now you know what, PD? This is what's so crazy, because that's the exact argument that I wanted to present. That's the exact argument, bro.
I've had that argument with him before, and it ended pretty quick after that.
Yeah.
Yeah, you just quoted
really
the
a way to come back
scriptures
from around
that
that,
you
right?
rather, you know what I
I
mean?
think people think that.
But what about?
But can you demonstrate that it's really bad if I kill your auntie? Can you demonstrate it?
Well, I think that if you that's annoying as fuck, honestly.
I'm sorry, dude. I'm sorry.
I think that it's if you have, because I think that there's a reason for morality aside from just like, oh, this is what God likes. God likes the color green today. I think that the reason is that obviously we're social animals, and our individual survival situation is better if we cooperate. And so morality is the behavior that allows you to cooperate with your in-group in a way that to where you guys can address outside problems collectively instead of looking over your shoulder to address internal problems.
So Flo, they found like early primates, fossils, that were clearly like mangled. You see what I'm saying? So the primates were handicapped or were them. I just
I saw that.
yeah. I'm eating pizza bites. I'm sorry.
Good.
And so the theory was
pizza rolls.
yeah the theory was that we were always moral beings because it would be impossible for these primates to live the life that they lived if it was not a sense of community that actually helped them survive 7 years after they got injured or mangled, right? And I'm kind of trying to introduce that shit, but I need to actually watch more YouTube documentaries about that so they don't trade against me.
Well, let me know what you're watching. So I want to get on that page.
Yeah, but they are going to say, yeah, but God.
But see, I think that when you present morality that way, like here's the purpose. The purpose is in-group harmony, right? And cooperation. Then you understand how to adjust dynamically in a moment and what morality is for. It's really not that complicated if you understand the objective and the reason, but I think that religion obscures that.
Well, and then to that point, Fatty, when you say what their response is going to be, guess what? They can't demonstrate that. They cannot demonstrate that their morality comes from God. There's no way for them to prove that.
Okay. So then what is stopping you from stealing from your neighbor? We talk about the worst things. We talk about rape. We talk about murder.
Self-preservation.
We talk about all of that kind of stuff.
Stealing from your neighbor would be a short-term survival strategy, but detrimental long-term.
Okay, so then what in randomnality, what in nature tells you that it would be detrimental long-term? Why can't we just take
your other neighbors will gang up and fuck you up?
Because your neighbors are going to fuck you up. You're going to be expelled from the tribe.
If you think about it for 40 seconds, it's not that hard.
And this is all over.
Before you all get too deep into this, I'm gonna head out. I just realized the time, man. I gotta crash. Y'all have a great night.
Thank you for joining.
Later, man. I appreciate you.
Yep, be good.
Fatty, good to meet you, man, and everybody
Nice
else.
to meet you, man. I've been watching. You are a cool dude. I appreciate you, man.
Rumple, you're one of the good ones, by the way.
I really enjoy this dude because he's not full of himself. He's one of the religious dude that actually is down to earth.
Yeah, he's
Who's that?
kind of an asshole. EOD, can I ask you a question though about morality? EOD, yeah, I gotta ask you something.
Go for it.
Okay, so let's say you talk to like an FAA, like a watchtower person.
Let's not talk about like Machiavellian fucking philosophy.
This is very straightforward, dude. Very straightforward question, and you can answer it.
I don't believe him already.
So an FAA, some dude, chick, whoever, some person that works in a tower tells you like, hey, look, so this is something I know. I know that if I go to bed with an orange safety vest under my pillow before my shifts, I know because I do this, I stay awake. And this is what helps me keep people safe. So it's a moral claim that I have to go to bed with my orange safety vest packed underneath my thing. Now, like normally we think of this as knowledge, right? Like this person knows this, right? And so, how is it any different? Like, because individual might know this, but this isn't knowledge that you can normally communicate. Does it doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense why, I can claim like a Christian morality and tell people about it.
I told you so.
Yeah, when normally we don't take these types of claims to be about the world.
Tin is in your flights here.
Damn it.
Duck, what's the question?
There wasn't a question.
You set up a scenario and I never caught a question.
I didn't either.
That is. There's nothing sufficient. Like if, EOD telling me like, oh, I feel weird about, in nature, there's no law except God's law. I feel the same way about EOD saying that as I would some like FAA watchtower person telling me they have to sleep with a safety vest behind their head.
Oh, okay.
You're saying it's an unfounded superstition.
Yeah.
I'm saying I wouldn't.
Why can't you just say that it's an unfounded superstition instead of going through this whole fucking spiel about the FAA and fucking safety vests and shit?
I like how the fact that the fact that they work for the FAA was completely irrelevant too. You gotta love that part.
It's a weird hypothetical.
We're just trying to set the stage, Denizen. This dude's attitude needs some Jesus or something. My goodness.
He does, man. Y'all all need Jesus. I'm telling you. God loves you. He will accept you back. Please follow in Christ's footsteps, for God's sakes.
You're
And
one of
for
the
your
good
own.
ones, too. I appreciate your attention.
Just praise God, man. Fucking praise God. God is so amazing. The sun, the nature, the earth, water, the way words work, the way knowledge works, the way love feels. God, praise God, man.
I'm telling you, praise God, man.
He's
praise
Jack
God.
knows. Jack knows for sure.
I do not like that fucking guy at all, actually. He's a fucking weirdo, spiritual hippie motherfucker. He'd probably get along a lot better with you, Duck, than he would with me, but...
Did you guys expect Jack Talcott to age like he did? That's he looks great. He's a silver fox for sure, but
How old is he?
27. 27, I think.
All right, Duck. You gotta laugh out of me. I'll give you that.
Fight Club. You always show up in the morning with the other dude that Flo said doesn't like. I don't know. The other dude looked like a little bit weird. Him actually looked like a controlling individual. I don't know what.
OTW.
It was the ginger dude, the one that is cursed.
Wait, me? What did I say?
No, is the guy that Flo stated as a video saying, man, he has the douchebag hat and the douchebag. Paul. They used to come on Fight Club in the morning. I don't know for what, but hey, man. Shout out to them. Hope they are still alive.
Who is Paul the Ginger? I need to know this. Wait, all the gingers...
Is he
Full
ginger?
enslaved.
You don't want to know.
Yes.
You don't
He's
know
Flo State's arch enemy. At least he
Hey, I
was.
got one more question, right?
What's that? And I mean, maybe y'all can explain it to me. I might be wrong, but is it asking, how can why? Oh no, not how can. I'm sorry. Why is that wrong? Is that not the most disingenuous question?
Yes.
Or am I just tweaking?
Why is what wrong? What is it? What's
Like,
the
no-
most ingenious question?
Like from the debate earlier, right? And I because I heard it being asked several times. And I've actually seen Andrew ask this on his debates on whatever. It's like, why is that wrong?
Have you ever been punched in the face before?
Is
Can I ask a yeah?
disingenuous?
That's like punching someone in the face. You know?
Why is
Some-
it wrong?
Some people are morally ambiguous, though. They don't claim to have an objective, external, divine source for perfect morality, right? So I think there's levels of how disingenuous that question can be. You know,
So,
like
so but what happens if I say I'm a Buddhist? That's where I get my morals from Buddhism. Like, what happens after? I always was curious because we had to say, is a Christian
Straight to
or
hell.
secular? Like, what?
if you
happens
said you were a Buddhist, but you punch people in the face for looking at you wrong on this when you walk down the street, I'm gonna say that's wrong according to your worldview. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but I just always wonder what's next. Because, for example, I don't know what is the religion of the Japanese. I think it's Shi is something. Nobody knows, right? But they are very peaceful and kind of moral lately. And it's like, what if I say that I'm the religion of the Japanese people and these people are the most nicest, most civil people in the planet? Like, what's next? You see what I'm saying? Like, what's the next step?
But what I'm asking is this:
Conversion?
I don't think there's an actual answer to satisfy it. Like, what answer can actually satisfy you? If you're asking why is it wrong, what can I tell you that will make you say, "Oh, okay, yeah, that makes sense why it's wrong"?
So the question is not right or wrong. The question is to locate your position so they can go on offense again. Because I thought he was, he tries to, no, it's just to locate your place. So imagine that you're a room full of fog, right? And you know that he's Christian and he gets his morality from Christianity. When he asks you exactly what you are, no matter what is the thing that you say, it's just for you to actually, he sees you where you are in the fog, so now you can go on offense, because that's all they do. It's offense. You ask them something, they say, I will concede to your position. Not because they agree with you, but because they want to concede so they can make you contradict yourself. So
That's even too charitable.
But there
That's
is
even
an
too
answer
charitable.
to it.
It's that, and it's the fucking psychobabble afterwards, dude. It's like who the fuck is in your studio?
You were
dude?
the
Who are you
king of
talking
fucking
to right now?
psychobabble, Doc.
Fuck
This
you,
is our
what are you
Nostradamus. The answer is that right and wrong, there is none of us can speak with the authority or knowledge to determine what is a universal objective, like God's right and wrong. So that right and wrong depends on the situation and the objective, right? So generally, right and wrong, we can all agree that, like on this panel here, if we're society, right, we have certain shared objectives, which is that, like, we all survive, we all prosper, things like that, right? So right and wrong will further the shared aim.
So the question itself inside of the debate is in bad faith.
Yes.
I don't think it's in bad faith. I think it's just mistaken.
Nah, I think.
Wait. Let me show you. Let me show you how I've seen it play out. Let me show you how I've seen it play out. So I'll use the example the other guy used. Why is it wrong for me to punch you in the face? Well, because you're assaulting somebody. Yeah, but why is that wrong? Well, because it hurt. Yeah, but why is that wrong? Yeah, but because pain and suffering. Yeah, but why is that? You see, it's just never.
It's no matter what answer you give.
Right. No matter what answer you give, it's just gonna go back to but why is that?
Oh,
wrong?
yeah.
But
that is
2-year-old
there is
asking
a circumstance.
why?
There is a circumstance under which it is right, man. What if he punched you in the face first?
Yeah, but that's not the
I punched
question.
you in the face after. Then
No, the
right,
question.
right?
The question is designed to leave you with only one answer because God said so, and that's what they believe. See, they have an out that you can never ever have, and that's the whole point.
What makes it right or wrong is if you deserved it or not. So if it's wrong, it's because you didn't deserve it.
Who decides that?
Flow state's going to tell you that means all morality, whether it's religious or secular, is completely.
I don't agree at all.
Right?
I don't agree in any possible world. There are no possible worlds where a person deserves to get punched in the face. There's not one world that exists.
So if I punched you in the face, I don't deserve to be punched in the face back.
Probably not.
No.
Like what if it's a world where punching people in the face is pleasurable?
What if I tickle you?
What if it's a world where
I don't stop tickling you and I continue tickling you? Don't I deserve a punch in the face? If you say, stop, fatty! Stop tickling me! I think
even then, dude. Even then, not even a little bit. No.
It's the weirdest thing. Every time I get punched in the face, I have an orgasm. It's the strangest thing.
I think you deserve a punch in the face if you don't stop tickling.
That's why you keep attacking me.
Oh my god. Okay, fine. I have this for the secularists. Okay, one question: is it possible for nothing to exist? For the universe to have never been?
How the fuck do I know?
Possible? Sure, everything's possible.
How is that? How could you say that that's possible?
Because we might be a simulation. We might be a very small cell in a gigantic organism. Like we might be an illusion. We might be AI. Like you don't know. The answer is you don't know.
Yeah.
No, it's not possible for the universe to have ever been nothing. Okay, even physicists have to admit this. Even physicists have to admit this. That at some point there was one singularity which contained everything, and it exploded into all the universe.
What do you believe?
No, because
at no point could there ever be nothing. Even physicists.
There's actually a scientific answer. I don't give a fuck what you just said. Because
you don't give a fuck about the science. I'm talking about science right now, Doc.
No, you're not.
That's what I'm talking about.
Okay.
I'm talking about the Big Bang Theory. I'm talking about the Big Bang
Theory. Yeah, the theory that you don't understand.
If there is a nothing that
how is this any?
does,
I probably understand that a lot better than I understand.
If the universe has a function of making nothing,
but how is this any different than DJ Genesis pulling up her video?
What do you mean?
Like, well, I just mean just completely redirecting the topic to is nothing possible, like, which is fine. I mean, we can redirect the topic. I'd rather drag on Andrew Wilson a little bit more. That guy, like, how can someone have a conversation about morals when they're acting immorally?
It's on top,
right? Like.
Wait, so you're saying he's a hypocrite?
Yeah, and
Can't be.
When I wanted to ask Fatty. When he tried to get Fatty to pull up an example of colonization after going off for 20 minutes about Somali pirates, like Somali pirates have women in cages, like we know that for a fact, like he could provide truth, right? Some proof of that. Like the guy is intellectually dishonest.
What about if any of that is immoral?
He's made a career out of it, which is kind of crazy.
Well, that's just it. I'm just saying, but he's a virtue signaling. his I mean, I get that it's clicks and views and, you know, and taking a stance and whatever, but he always resorts to insults quickly. Right?
Yeah, that's because he's not good at debating and he doesn't know shit.
Exactly.
Okay,
And then
Rob,
people
what if I ask you this? Can you grant him that? Can I grant you that he doesn't say anything that means anything, but at the same
Like
time
you?
he's fucking entertaining? Like
Nah.
if you want to know how to be good on the mic, Andrew Wilson.
yeah, that's
irritating.
It's old. It's
It's lowest common denominator bullshit.
Yeah, as Andrew Tate can be. Right?
Right.
I actually think
Like,
that
for
is
a bit.
true because if you look at the debate that he had with the two other people, they killed both of them. Like it was not even close.
He's as entertaining as the crazy guy on the corner screaming obscenities downtown.
Guys,
What's entertaining is subjective. You guys are coping.
Sound like you're jealous, DJ.
Let's all try to be better than being hating ass ankle biters. Nobody can doubt that he's doing way more successful than any of us here in the
100%.
YouTube streets.
For now, Flo. For now.
It's all
Fatty,
cope
you know
and
what?
jealousy up in here. He's an
Fatty, you need
entertainer.
to-
Manage your expectations.
Yeah. Let him entertain the people. So
Fatty, hold
when
on,
you
Fatty.
say
Fatty, you need to
Uh-oh.
react. You need to make sure that you react to that part in the debate where you gave the greed analogy. That
yes.
was
Oh, I'm going to
fucking
clip that. I'm going to
awesome.
clip that shit.
That
I'm
was
going to clip
awesome. I swear to God, that was so awesome, bro.
I'm going to clip that shit. And I'm going to clip the part where Rob gets mad at me because I'm asking what is greed? What is a food? What is it, son? Because you can't be doing that to people. What is that called? A stalemate? Like you know you are almost getting caught and you now start to divert. Like what is that? I don't get it.
Taking land for greed argument, bro. I wish I wasn't lazy. I'd go back and find it and react to it myself. That's
You just have to go to the transcript and open it and then do Control F, and it's going to show you a finder. You put the word there, and it's going to show you the.
That transcript shit works for you?
The transcript is where I find everything. Just open the transcript and do the finder.
Yeah, you have to do it on a desktop though. You can't do it on mobile.
Yeah, on the desktop.
YouTube uses AI to fucking figure all that shit out for you.
Yeah, that shit was fire. I was like, oh my God, Fatty, you got him. You got him right here.
But like we got him on the first debate too, with Flo State. Porn is bad for society. So we explain Japan that has the biggest anti-industry, lollies, people fucking arses and tentacles, like the worst of the worst. Great.
Yeah, that's a fucking whore. That is a slut. She's a cocksucker. She's a fucking bukkake whore.
Damn, that's right. and he turned around and he said, "Oh no, but Japan is different." You're like, what? So if porn is bad, it's bad everywhere. Why is it different? Oh, because they don't have the same culture. It's okay. You got it.
I'm not gonna go to a hooker's house and slap the dick out of her mouth, but just don't tell me that she's a nuclear physicist. That's all I'm saying.
But if she is the nuclear physicist, you don't know. Prove it. Prove that she's not a nuclear physicist.
All right.
Yeah, demonstrate.
Proof that. Pull up the proof of me putting hands. Last time I checked, I put dick on a bitch. Unless you can show me otherwise. Show me that I put hands on a bitch outside of my dick.
Were they alive?
What the?
Prove it.
What?
I got triggered.
Demonstrate it.
Flo State, you know I'm corporate now. I got triggered right now. That's crazy.
He's corporate now. He's corporate.
You made the claim. Now demonstrate it.
Prove it.
Prove it.
Now, does that mean that you're not fucking with JP anymore?
Oh yeah, absolutely. No, it was yesterday. We got mad yesterday. Yeah. I'll wait to leave it alone. I was just saying on the. Oh damn! I was just saying on the.
He ate that whole damn bucket of popcorn.
This man is eating from the motherfucking pan.
Okay, he's pulling.
You know about that question that you asked about, can we be nothing? The simulation theory actually says that we are code. We are just random code put together. And you think
the stimulation.
Simulation theory is just how nerds say they believe in God.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you can. But technically,
Somebody had to write the code,
simulation.
Fatty. Somebody had to write the fucking
Which
code.
means
didn't they?
there's no free will. I like
Yes.
that theory.
I like.
Why do
I'm
you
not
like
sure
the theory
because
that there
there's
isn't
God,
any free
there's
will?
no free will.
Why do you
Because
like?
there
Why do you
isn't.
like the theory that there isn't any free will?
There isn't free will.
because that
Yeah, that's a
because
great
that takes
argument
away
because
from
there
the
isn't.
argument that douchebags make that the people's lack of success is based on their own
Douchebags.
choices.
Christians are all douchebags, huh?
I think that there's
Yeah, but Beans, what it really comes down to is that all of your success belongs to you entirely. That's the principle they're really addicted to and trying to hold on to.
Yeah.
Oh, so we have a communist in the room. That's wonderful.
What? you think
I
that's
mean, QED, you know? I rest my case, Your
That
Honor.
shit took about 4 seconds.
To throw that label on a motherfucker.
Well, the motherfucker's gonna bring the argument that oh no, y'all are addicted to your own wealth and your own gains and your own liberty and everything.
Whoever keeps flashing the notification up on the screen, obviously the panel is full. You know what to do. It's $1 a minute, $10 minimum to kick somebody all the way out. Let's go.
Is this the Genesis? But she's so fat that she's two, so she needs 2 spots. So if you want her back, you have to drop 2 people.
EOD, Ori was talking about the set of circumstances and outcomes that are actually outside of your control.
Such as what, Rude Mud?
So you think you have choices.
Yeah.
But all you do, your brain analyzes potential pathways and your brain decides what's the most optimal outcome for you. You're not actually a choice. What you're experiencing is discovery of pathways. You're always going for what you consider to be the most optimal.
That can't be true.
Why not?
It is in theory, but it
what I'm
doesn't
talking
pass
about is
away in
the-
reality because
yeah, I'm
people are
talking about-
self-indulgent and lazy. So
Those things would come into play.
Right.
Yeah, you can make the wrong choice. It doesn't have to always be optimal. The point is that you're experiencing the choice downstream. That's the point.
What I'm saying is our priorities are not always maximizing outcome.
No, yeah, okay. So when I say optimal choice, you're thinking I mean the best outcome
Optimal
for
just
you.
for what you
But
want to do.
optimal is always like, okay, I'm this amount of lazy.
I'm
so
thinking
this
in
is
I'm thinking in
Yeah.
economics.
So what are you saying, Crab? How are you
I'm saying
describe
I want to put this much energy into my choice. So these other ones that might give them better outcome are off the table. So this is the best one. for me.
But that still wouldn't get rid of free will. It would get rid of a lot of options, but not free will.
It's
Yeah, but the free will thing, even according to God, I still have no.
I'm not a computer, Rude Mud. I'm just not.
Yes, you are. Humans are literally pattern recognition machines.
Hey, prove it. Prove that you're not a computer. Matter of fact, define computer.
Okay.
Damn it, Fatty.
I'm addicted to tobacco. I have probably an alcohol addiction as well. So a computer cannot be addicted to alcohol or
You
tobacco.
don't need to admit everything.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute.
as
What
a
makes
flawed
it?
human
What
being,
makes it an
I'm not a
addiction?
computer.
What makes it an addiction?
Damn.
What makes
The mug shots.
Yeah, what makes it an addiction? I'm curious about this.
The big dick.
Well, I don't know the chemical dependency, right?
How
So
can you
my
prove
brain
that
is
you are
used to
chemical
having these
dependent?
things in my mind, and so when they're not there, I'm less.
So you want to not drink then? You don't drink because you want to? You would rather not drink?
Yeah, well, desire has something to do with it for sure.
You
yeah.
sure
The best way to stop
Oh shit! It
drinking
sounds
is
like
to
your
grad-
free will just went the fuck out the
the
window,
best
and
way
your
to
brain
gra-
controls you.
Stop drinking is to graduate to harder substances.
How does my desire playing into it outlaw my or outdo
EOD,
my free will?
EOD,
right?
can
You
you-
My
literally-
desire playing into it actually plays into the argument that it is free will. In the
You just
first
make
place.
it.
It's demonstrating your desire doesn't mean fuck all at the end of the day. Your brain is choosing alcohol.
Then
Yeah,
why do you
choosing
focus
an
on the fact that
addiction
my desire
was
has
not-
something to do with it?
Can you
You're
describe
You're
what
making my
you
argument for me, dude. Thank
Your
you. so
real
much.
desire is for stated.
Yeah, that's not what happened.
That is
Yeah,
exactly what just
ELG,
fucking happened.
if you're addicted and you must do it, there's an argument that you're not really using.
You're literally making choices physically and not with your own desire. You're not exercising your will. You're
You know what,
you're
buddy? The
literally
devil made it-
subject to the
No, that
physical
was the
dependency.
devil. That's the devil, Denizen. Stop it.
The devil
I
did
didn't
it.
say that.
EOD,
What I said
Yeah,
is that there's a chemical dependency
yeah, you
that my
did.
brain gets used to,
Can't you make an
and that I'm a
argument
less
that
pleasant
the
person
anus-
without it.
But
And then
can't
you
you make
said
an
my
argument that
desire
that's
actually
just
has
a
something
body?
to do with that. So I mean,
I asked you if
that's
you
the
wanted to
desire.
quit drinking, and you said yes. So
it was-
you desire to quit drinking, and yet you can't.
No, you
You are
asked me
the
if
you
I
are such a
desire to
master of
continue
free will.
drinking.
As the
think he
person
said,
who's in rehab the most times here, I can tell you that what you really want to do is what you end up doing. People don't actually want to quit shit.
Yeah, until they quit.
In a vacuum, right? It sounds like a nice idea. Do you want to quit? Oh yeah, that would
Yes.
be great. But in reality, people don't actually want to.
Yeah, because you can't
Or they
control your
do.
wants.
Or
You
they
can't
do.
control your
Or they
wants
do,
at
or
all.
they do, and
Right.
which
Do you
no longer
accept?
becomes necessary.
PD, do you accept the idea that there's a difference between the mind and the brain?
Speaking of alcohol,
I don't accept nor reject it. I'm open to it, but I'm not convinced.
Okay, so well then interact with me.
Well, I
real
mean,
quick.
the mind would be the mind would be the experience of the brain, right?
Okay, so accept this premise for me for just a second. The mind is separate from the brain. Wouldn't it then just be possible that your body is doing what the brain is telling it to do, and your mind is just not strong enough to like change that?
Oh, I see what
you're saying
it's
so you're like you're using mind as like a higher self that wants to quit, and a brain is like a lower self that's not able to.
I'm using the brain as if it's the
Kinda sorta.
The operating, factor for the body. The body
I'll make-
does what the brain tells
It's not
it to
about
do.
strength,
Like
though.
you say, you can't take a step, you can't point a finger, you can't do anything unless the brain tells it to do it, right? So your body is going and getting the alcohol and getting the things that it needs to get because that's what it's desiring, that's what it wants to do. In your mind, you're not strong enough in
Our
your
thoughts
mind
real.
to control
he's
the
on the
brain.
It's order of operations.
Your own brain.
So
I think that the in occultism, clever ears, Rocky. It's about to get wild. The Trinity, right, or a form of Trinity is when your mind, your heart, and your actions are all moving in the same direction. So it sounds like that was what you're talking about, sort of.
Yeah, it sounds like and that would give evidence of free will. If the mind does exist, like Baines said, and it tells me I want to be a better person or get more money or do whatever, and I have to fight against my body and my lower self to pull a thing off. It is little evidence of free will.
You rack discipline. This comment is funny to me. You rack discipline.
You rack discipline.
Joe, can you control what you want? Can you control what you desire and what you fear? Can you control what your favorite food is, what your favorite song is?
Over time, yes.
No, you can't.
Sure,
I mean,
can.
that depends
That's
on your
what free
personal
will
experiences
comes
and your
in too.
preferences.
I was a whore. I used to try to fuck with as many women. I was doing 2 and 3 a day, and I decided to change that shit, and I did. And
You decided to change it, or something
Yeah, he said-
happened where you had an overriding want?
Sometimes you snuck inside of a dude without knowing.
Oh, come on with the gay shit.
I'm telling you, the only reason I accept any responsibility is because I want all the glory. And it's ego that prevents people from realizing they're having a subjective experience.
Cognition. Isn't that just cognition? Are thoughts real? Is this mind thing? This mind
just really
that you're talking about, is it just our brain, electrical impulses, or is it actually a self outside of the body?
That's what we're trying to determine.
If you ask a psychologist, they'll tell you they don't know.
outside.
The science will tell you they are unsure.
It's a false dichotomy.
There's a
It's
decent
not a
amount
false
of
dichotomy.
evidence that consciousness is non-localized, which means that
outside the body.
Right.
Like your eyesight, right?
Also, a lot of good evidence that it's inside your brain, right?
Yep.
Because
I'm not so sure about that. When you take the Ben Carson and the hemispherical surgeries,
if you get a metal rod shot through your brain, it's gonna change your.
Yeah.
You're going to have a personality adjustment.
Oh yeah. Fuck it. What do they call it? A lobotomy has a.
You might
serious
not even
effect.
like the same kind of food anymore. None of that thing that you thought you were choosing.
What about
I hit you on the head hard enough to change your moral structure.
What about a hemispherical surgery where they actually have to take out entire half of the brain, right?
What about
it? So if it is located in the brain, you'd be pretty much fucked if that was the case. Dr. Ben Carson, the guy who pioneered that shit, the mothers and fathers were worried about that. He went in there, one kid like tell knock jokes. Mother say, I'm afraid he won't tell knock jokes when it's done. He said, I've taken knock jokes out of kids who like it. The left side of their brain, they still like knock jokes. I've taken them out of the right side of their brains out, and they still like knock jokes. It looks like knock jokes are in the heart. I'm not saying he's right about the heart, but there is evidence that the knock joke may not be in the fucking brain and exist somewhere else.
I mean, it could be in the back of the brain or the front of the brain, but if it's in the heart, then it's irrelevant to this conversation.
Well, there's all sorts
non-local.
of stories about people like picking up different like cravings or preferences or personality traits from just organ transplants, right? Like not brain, like liver transplants and shit. Like that. Look into that. That's weird.
That's weird.
Our spirit.
Oh yeah, go down that rabbit hole sometime.
Is it weird? If those things are the things that process the food and all that, is it weird that give you a little bit of a different feeling?
No, because we don't really understand how nerve endings work. You know, like your liver and your heart and your stomach and all that can have like little pieces of brain in it.
So you're saying,
right? So like just the one in your head might be like a centralized control mechanism. But there could be more feeling and decision making going on in the nerve endings in the rest of your body.
So science takes a certain amount of faith.
I don't know why you couldn't wait till I was done talking to say that. It's the strangest thing.
You say for science.
So then, would you would agree with the statement when people say that it feels like, or at least I'm saying feel, so forgive me, but it feels like their body is literally talking to them.
They could be more right than they know.
Feeling. You get a gut feeling, so
that could be more correct than we really know.
He likes me more than you.
Apparently.
Your body definitely talks to you. Like when you feel a certain pain in a certain area, like he's warning you that something is not right. Isn't that like a version of communication?
Yeah, like when you have to go pee.
Yes, or when we eat too much, stomach stain. Like this.
It could also be because the brain is incapable of feeling. So it had to adapt to send messages to the rest of your body so that you could even experience emotions physically.
Hey, can I put something forward? It's going to change it a little bit, but it's still along the same line.
Let me just something before you actually say something.
All right.
Wasn't that a girl or something like that she wouldn't feel no pain, no nothing? You could put on fire.
There's a condition.
Like that.
What is that? Exactly.
I don't remember what it's called, but I know someone with a son like that, and it's kind of like he'll accidentally like break bones just because he's walking too hard and shit. It's wild.
That's crazy.
Lyme disease, man. That's what that is.
No. We were talking about non-locality things existing outside of the brain. So I want to go down a little tangent to see if there's evidence of other things existing outside, and then that might help us over here. And the first thing that pops in my head is the way animals seem to attach to something that must exist outside of them, like the little study that they show where they take the owner out and they'll take somebody out with them, and the dog will just be walking around minding his business, and then when they tell the owner it's time to go home, the dogs go to the door. And I'm sure you've heard a million stories like that where they seem really hard to explain unless something exists outside of that animal, like dogs finding their way home to 500 miles away where it never was their home. Their people left them and moved to a different state, and the fucking dogs show up there a year later emaciated. How?
The Holy Spirit.
Non-local, outside the body.
Because they smelled their ass.
No, what's crazy is watch a school of fish. The way that they all turn at the same time. That's just wild.
It is something interesting.
I'd like to slow that fish shit down. See if they're responding to actual physical things. I like to slow it down and see.
Watch a school of fish sometimes. It's like all.
It looks exactly at the same time. That's why I need to get anal about it and get one of them gunshot cameras, and then that wouldn't explain it because their reflexes won't be that fucking fast.
Get your scuba gear.
The fucking the flakes on their skin or whatever, the scales, and then they reflect the light. And they all pick up the light. They have giant fucking pupils. So.
And they would give them an indication which way they're going. Is what you're saying?
Yeah.
You seen them fucking Air Force fighter pilot shows? If those motherfuckers can do it, I'm sure fish can do it.
Yeah, fucking, you got Blue Angels and F-16 Falcons fucking flying inches away from each other.
Yeah. Right, because it's choreographed and practiced, and we got
practice rehearsal.
We got 5 people on headsets doing something that's well rehearsed,
Fish are
versus
always swimming. They're always practicing.
Yeah, you don't know which way a fish is going to change. You know, at 0.9 seconds, we're going to all veer left. Fish don't know
you
that
don't know
shit.
at 0.9
birds
seconds.
do
You
it.
call
Well,
that shit out,
however
it's
they
about communication.
communicate.
Right, it is
birds, by the way.
communication. That's
They
it.
use
Right.
The
clicks,
fish
I think.
communicate through the light flashing off their scales. That's what I'm trying to
EOD,
do.
do you like fish sticks?
I
No,
love fish sticks.
no, I prefer beer battered fillets.
Sit or no, right?
Is it-
Sit
is
or
it not
no.
being fancy
Big fish
shit?
sticks.
Fish sticks are nasty.
Fish sticks are the
Rocky. How do them fish sticks take?
fish sticks is like the you don't, when you only have sausage and spaghetti to eat. Like
Yeah.
fish sticks is that version of fish.
Yeah, it's trash.
Is
You
that
just
end of
throw
the
in
month
microwave.
food?
Yeah, it's like the.
Just
But
got a
when
whole
I was
bunch of
younger-
potato. I got
like
two
the
potatoes
brookie
and
trout.
Nobody
But-
prefers fish. I certainly don't.
But isn't
I
it funny
like
that the,
brookie.
like
I
all
like
the
the
kids like
fish in
fish
my
sticks because of
backyard.
the Captain Igloo motherfucker?
I let you talk about it. I don't go to the restaurant and order fish. It's not a thing.
Captain Igloo.
I do sometimes, man. I go to Long John Silver's. I go to a local restaurant called Moby Dick.
What about a sit down place?
Oh,
You ever
shit,
go to a
Moby Dick.
sit down?
Moby Dick, that's right.
I can tell you why I think that
Okay.
is though, Fatty. I think the reason why kids are fish stick.
Oh,
Well, it's because they're fed
Damn, you
simple
lost.
shit.
He was going to tell
the Illuminati got him.
Secrets of the universe.
It's fucking China. It's fucking China.
What do you say,
What?
Joe? Why do you think they like it?
Uh-oh.
So
It's
I like
the-
your query there.
They like the
Question.
breaded.
Joe.
They like the
Um,
breaded. They like
Yeah.
the bread
Right.
on the fish.
I just liked it because like you guys
Batter.
didn't have like Captain Igloo is like a captain. Like Igloo is like a big brand. I think it's a Norwegian brand or something like that.
Igloo.
So it's like Christmas. It's like they used to put commercials about like a captain like eating fish sticks.
That's why I thought he was going to go with.
And everybody liked that shit because of the motherfucking captain. That's
I
crazy.
thought he was going to say culture
Yeah.
too. I thought that's what he was
Long
going
John
with.
Silver's is hangover food.
So
It'll
Joe,
work.
I
your-
like
Yeah.
fish from my own creek.
Yeah,
Your
that's much
question-
better for sure. If you
Yeah,
can.
yeah.
Those are
didn't have pizza
tadpoles,
today?
Rocky. Stop eating tadpoles.
Hey, Flo, can you share mine? You guys didn't have this?
sardines. Joe,
I get
that
30
question
brookie
brings
trout
up
out
in
of
my mind another question in that same realm. We use the word understand, right? To
Right.
stand under something that somebody said. So they explain something, we say, "Oh, I understand." Can we
Right.
truly ever understand what somebody's saying?
Not 100%.
Yeah.
No, but
There's
enough
not
to
enough stop sit
communicate.
shit in my life right now.
Certainly.
How can you be under and stand at the same time?
Well, it's
A bridge?
reference
You
to,
stand
like,
under a
somebody's
bridge?
plight,
That was
somebody's
quick,
position.
And it's
man.
just
Fine,
really
understand,
cheap.
please.
That was quick.
You stand under a bridge.
Legalese.
Right. Well,
Then
so if you say you stand under a bridge, right, and I'm
And I
outside,
understand the bridge.
no, I would say I understand your plight. I understand what you're doing. I understand that you're standing under a bridge. But do I really can I go outside of my mind and really understand what it means? for
You
to
would
stand
agree
under the
then,
bridge?
Brick, that you
When
cannot
you
totally
go out of your
understand.
mind, you go from understand to understood. You see what I'm saying?
So I think it's worth remembering that, like, when we're saying, like, do we have free will or not? The deterministic mind is depending on how you define determinism, is very limiting, right? So to have imagination is honestly something that doesn't make sense. Maybe some apes have it, but we don't actually see it in a lot of other animals. And the ability to imagine something that isn't necessarily something you're experiencing at that moment is at least a deviation from the strictest definition of determinism.
Is it dream and imagination?
Shit.
I don't
No.
think we know what dreams are actually.
Okay,
No,
so
because-
I love
Well,
that you brought this
can I
up.
point something out?
I love that you brought this up, Melanie. Okay, so
Well, can I respond to Fatty real quick?
if,
Because you asked an interesting question.
What?
I would say no,
What did he
because in order to have a dream, your brain has to be in a different wavelength, like operating just fundamentally differently than when you're awake.
Okay. So I love that you brought this up because what you're touching on is one of the epistemological arguments for the existence of God in the first place. Is the fact that we think, we dream, we're self-determinate, right? Where does the mind actually even fucking come from, and how do you explain its existence in the first place? And a lot of Christians will say that the best explanation for that is God, that he created us in His own image in the first place, and that's why
That's
we
a silly
have the
argument.
ability. That's why we have
Yeah,
the
it's
ability to make
myopic
things
and
the
lazy.
way that we do.
Yeah,
Why is that
because of
myopic
God
and
is
lazy?
a bad argument.
That can be an argument for anything. You can attribute it to God. That is not a strong argument.
Okay. Then
It's a cop out.
EOD, have you
why
seen
do
my
we the
turkey
only ones
sandwich
with
argument?
why are we the only ones with thumbs? The only ones who have sexual
We're not
pleasure?
the only ones
The only
with
ones who
thumbs.
devise intelligent technology that involves electronics and
The answer is that
vast
we don't
communication
know.
across the world. And
That's the
We're the only one
intelligence
here.
that exists within humanity, right?
Your
Actually,
question is
interestingly
why
enough-
we the most advanced in those things. We're not the only ones. You're saying the most clearly.
Interestingly
because
enough, like the human brain does
who
have
else,
three
what
times.
other species on the planet actually communicates across fucking entire
Well-
oceans as we're doing right now?
well,
Whales.
So interestingly enough,
Whales do not communicate across the entire damn
say
ocean.
they do. I think.
Mel, you know how to
Google.
keep charging.
What?
You know how to keep charging in the conversation.
Oh, sure, yeah. The human brain has like 3 times the neural density of like any other brain, so that's part of it. Another answer is emergence that comes out of complex systems, and there's an argument that it only takes so many degrees of freedom to have a system that can simulate anything. Actually, computers are proof of this, and therefore, with enough emergence, we would actually have enough degrees of freedom to, for instance, imagine anything.
And whales communicate over thousands of kilometers.
EOD, if God made us in His image, what the fuck
Yeah, like
is an
that,
appendix
Rocky.
for?
Do animals
What the fuck
have
is a what, Rude
a
Mud? I'm sorry.
An
conscience?
appendix.
An
Are they
What the fuck
appendix.
is an appendix for?
Are animals self-conscious?
Actually, that's a really good point, Mel.
Well, that's
because
an anti-creationist argument. That's different.
the when it comes to computers, we have what's called Wi-Fi and these outside the bounds of the actual product, and so the signal is sent through the air, literally through the air, and so that would lead to the belief that human minds kind of work the same way.
No, it wouldn't, because for one thing, the amount
Why
of
not?
power you need to like transmit that signal is way greater than anything the human brain's putting out.
It's a vehicle to give you cancer, Rude Mud.
Like if you know,
Well,
with
that
the
doesn't
current
equate.
technology,
it's
doesn't
not.
equate.
Yes.
If you know about inverse
biotechnology might be a lot more efficient.
Rick, let me explain something. If you know about inverse square law, like maybe if you had your head pressing up against somebody else's head, you could glean something, but it doesn't seem like our brains.
But to say it's not possible, that's a positive statement. You're making a posit there.
Yeah.
Now prove it.
She
At
shouldn't
this
have
point-
said not
at this-
possible, not possible right now.
Well, at this point, there's not a lot that necessitates that sort of explanation that we can
But
observe in the human mind.
even at this point, you could agree that we've had some boundaries that we never thought were possible to cross, and we've crossed. You'd agree with that?
Yeah,
for technology, but like biophysically, no, we're still biophysically constrained by the same things as always.
Are we?
Biophysically, yes.
You might be right.
What are
You
those?
might be wrong.
What do we do that our ancestors couldn't do just by the fact that you are, other than the Neuralink people, right? Like, what do we do that people 1,000 years ago couldn't do?
We do the same things, but the thing is, you actually can see with your eyes outside of your body. You can hear things outside of your body.
So can animals.
But they could do.
That's that. There's a point there.
And they were parting the season.
Not
We
really.
can't.
You are literally going outside of your body with your vision.
No, you're okay.
And
No,
you're pulling in data. Yes.
no,
you are actually
it's
pulling in data
energy.
from
It's energy
outside of your body.
interacting. No, it's energy interacting with like your eardrums or the back of your eyes or with
So that
nerve
data
endings,
that's out
right?
there that you wouldn't have
Yeah,
without your eyes.
it's
That's data.
transmitted. It's
That's
transmitted.
You
data.
as
are
light energy.
interacting with data, if that is your point.
It's
Yes.
it's transmitting. It's you're not. It's not both ways though.
Is it doing
right?
it
So-
on its
It's not
own?
transmitting, it's receiving.
Yeah, it's
Right.
just receiving, right? You're
Yeah,
just
so that
receiving light
data-
energy.
that
You're
data
just
out there-
receiving sound energy.
That is being collected into your brain. Can you get that without your eyes open?
If
No.
it's if it's
Not
hearing, if it's sound,
okay,
I can
let's
get
be
it with
specific,
my eyes
right?
closed.
The
So
data
someone
for vision.
So
Okay,
if
the
someone
data for
holds up a
vision,
letter card in
you
front
get
of
that
me,
without opening your eyes.
let's be specific. If someone holds a letter card up in front of me and my eyes are closed, I will not be able to see it and know what's on that card if I didn't have any way of knowing beforehand.
Yeah, exactly. So you open your eyes, and that is how you receive the data. That is
Yes,
something you do on your own
Because
without
the light doesn't go
any
through
help.
your eyelids.
But-
'Cause the
but-
light
but
won't
your-
go through your
What's
eyelids.
his point? What's his
The
point?
receivers is
He
your
doesn't
five-
have one. Come on now.
No,
if I
what
take
I'm-
your five
what I'm
senses, you
saying
can receive nothing. You can receive
is
no information.
That the mind,
See, now you've encouraged him to elaborate.
the mind is interacting
still got
outside
hope
of
in
the
him.
body.
It's
No,
not
it's not.
interacting.
No, no, no.
Tuesday.
The information between your eyes, your tongue, your skin, like your senses are just tools for you to collect information, so you can then go to your brain and the brain kind of understand what is going on.
Right.
If
So
we
that data
took-
comes in from the outside.
Yeah, but if you took the five senses out of a person, even though your brain is working, you could not receive the information and actually.
Exactly.
See what I'm saying? Like,
I don't know. I
Rick.
guess if you take the 5, but if you
Yeah, you can take the
consider we have more senses.
Before we
then
get
there-
too off,
I would
I just want to
actually
ask Brick.
argue there's
I
only
want to
three
keep this
categories.
focused and ask Brick a question. Brick, if you're in a movie theater and there's a movie being projected on the screen, would you say that you're actually in the movie?
Why would I say that?
He didn't
I'm
say
not
that.
understanding
Well, because you're not
Crazy.
interacting with that world, right? But
Wait,
you
wait,
are. But you are observing it.
Well, hold on. Am I in the movie? You mean like theoretically in the movie, or am I like
Oh,
physically in
God.
the movie?
You're
Like, 'cause
literally
you're
not
in the movie. You're not
It's a
landing planes.
representation.
Holy shit, man. We're
It's a
Never give an analogy
representation
to
of
a
it.
Yeah, let's
Still
assume
flying.
she meant on the screen with the other
It's not even an
actors.
analogy. It's fucking obvious. Like, no, when
No,
you're-
it's obvious
no,
for someone
you're-
who's not retarded.
You didn't give a good analogy. A good analogy, maybe I would be able to interact.
your eyes are
You
literally projector
understood
screens. The
what the
back of
fuck
your
she was
retinas
saying.
are
Stop
literally
it.
projector screens.
What's interesting is
you-
you're
One
actually
to
on your
one.
character right there. Actually, you're using 3D glasses. Why would 3D glasses be necessary in certain
For
scenarios?
depth perception.
What?
To pick up on what's
Because
being put out,
normally we
because our
project images
eyes.
onto a 2D plane. The only way to get 3D information from a 2D plane is
Only
to
way we know of.
is to use parallax.
Not only way, but the only way we use, only way we know of.
Right.
Could be a million other ways.
Well, maybe not a million.
Agreed.
Don't you know the difference between an animal and a man?
That's very hard to
There's a-
distinguish.
Yeah,
Rocky.
really. Checkmate. Rocky, checkmate.
Not
got it.
really. We
We
were the
don't.
tool users. That was the distinction all of my childhood. Now we find out other animals use tools.
Are
Right.
animals
What is the
self-
distinction between man and animal?
Well, tools
they-
is what makes us
are
primates,
animals
not Homo
self-conscious,
sapien.
or do they work on
Birds used tools
instinct?
too. Birds used to like use rocks to get the flow of our
Joe,
Are
Totally.
animals
Iron.
aware of
Joe posited this
themselves?
question at Rocky, so let's hear the answer.
Hey friends, I
animals
appreciate y'all.
aware-
I'm going to sleep a little bit. I appreciate y'all.
All
sir.
right.
Cheers,
Be
man.
easy, fatty.
Later,
Later.
fathead.
Animals
probably
aware
Look
of
at them burger.
themselves? Are animals aware of themselves? Do they have a self-conscious, or do they work on instinct?
Mostly
I'd say they have
instinct.
a
So that's a really
I'd
good
say-
question.
conscious.
Oh, sorry, I forgot it was between Joe and Rocky for a sec.
If he's still entertaining me, I think he done went off on his own. I had no problem with you interrupting.
What was your question, Joe?
I don't remember right.
Can I answer?
What is the difference between man and animal? You said it was because of the tool, or I said it was. It used to be for years. The distinction was we are the tool makers. Now they find that animals make tools, and they have to change the definition of man. And I asked you, what is the difference? I think that was. The
I
question.
think that mankind is self-aware, self-conscious. Animals work on instinct. Can an animal write a book? Can an animal read? Can an animal
Putting some very tight things on there. Yes, some animals can read. Parrots are incredibly smart. Communication is more. You putting some shit on there that you might not want to throw a bunch.
They
Yes,
know that,
man.
you don't. You
they
sure?
know the bird knows that if
You sure?
he says a certain thing, he's going to get a treat. It's instinct. He knows how to please his
mimicry.
master.
Parrots are capable of mimicry.
Rocky.
Isn't that what we do for reading?
Yeah, then you're
what's the
just
problem
you're
with
just
saying-
describing how all thought is instinct
So
layered.
you guys believe that mankind and animals are the same type of creature?
Okay, Rocky, let me explain to you why there's
These
a
are
problem
kind of
with saying
noises.
self-awareness. There's a problem with saying self-awareness is one of those things. There's something called the mirror test. And what we do is we put a mirror in front of animals, and then we put something on their head. Now, if it's usually something they would want to grab for. So if they try to grab it through the mirror, we know that they don't realize that they're looking through a mirror. They don't understand the concept of the mirror. But if they touch their own head, then we know that they seem that they're aware that that's them and not some other animal. And that's usually a pretty good test for self-awareness, and then you can make other assumptions for behavior based on that animal. Not all animals have that.
No, you can't attribute to malice what can easily be explained by stupidity.
First of all, that's not malice or stupidity.
Is that what she just
Calm
did?
the fuck down.
Yes.
Calm down.
She just
Calm
talking about
down.
whether the animal can see his reflection in the mirror and know it's the animal. Or
Yeah, because she was trying to say that it's about intent.
Satanism.
Animal is intently not aware.
It's like it's like an LLM. That's it's like having a malfunction, right? The if and statement looped in the wrong area.
Malfunction.
A malfunction. Just randomly like grabbed for some kind of fucking truism that had nothing to do with what we were talking about.
But Rocky, to answer your
man
question,
is man and man is eternal. What?
Oh, he is gone now.
I
wasn't looking at the screen. I guess he
I
left.
wanted to answer Rocky's question. Some animals do show some things humans have. Most animals seem to operate on instinct. Like bugs are a great example. Very few bugs would we say are even remotely intelligent, praying mantises, for example, but they don't even show the ability to like say do something different than what their instinct would tell us. I would say that our divergence from instinct is something approaching ultimate free will. We don't have ultimate free will, but the more our brain evolves in the direction of free will, the more of it we will have, the more degrees of freedom our mind will have to take.
I what you ain't got to twist more.
Making no fucking sense at all.
It actually makes a ton of sense that free will is something that's emergent, and so it increases over time the more we evolve.
You talking about consciousness or free will? Because free will.
I would say there is a like a contained system. So even if your choice as you see it is subjective, you can still influence the physical. So first, accepting that you have no real free will, ironically, is the way to have the most effect over your choices and your actions.
And to justify not punishing PDFs.
No, what the fuck?
What the hell?
No. People say this all the time. Let me just clear this up. Punishment is important because it affects this as well. Like if you take away punishment, then people will make that bad decision. It's not wanting to be punished that stops them. You still need punishments. They still need accountability.
I do agree.
But I didn't catch Dennis's full remark. I'm not sure I could stay.
Once you become aware of
what they want,
that the hardware is responsible for the output, then you can focus on the hardware and stop pretending that you're an all-powerful software writer. And so then you can engage willfully in different habits and techniques, which will reprogram you and eventually change your habits and your responses and your conditioned responses over time. Now, the only thing I would add to that is based upon what I've learned both in research and by meditation, is these are layers, and that stress affects your modules, which are loaded. So if you build up layers of resistance and create different pathways, stress can degrade that and bring you back to a more original state.
Okay, so let's be clear. Cortisol and stress is a state that the body goes into and that the mind reacts to. Stress tells the body that currently there's some sort of threat around the corner. So therefore, things like long-term planning and metabolic processes that store energy and stuff like that, not as worth it. And that can take a toll on the brain, especially if chronic or acute. But not all stress has these chronic or acute effects. So just to be clear, not all stress directly impacts the brain.
So how do you tell the difference between a false belief and a actual real threat?
Oh, I'm an empiricist.
It's irrelevant. Who cares?
So like with inductive reasoning, right? Every time I've left my front door, no matter what front door it was, there wasn't a tiger there. So I'm generally not afraid of tigers being outside of my front door.
Okay, that's a great example of a false belief that you wouldn't carry over, but it doesn't
How do you
explain.
define a tiger, though?
I'm taking my ass to sleep, God. Probably not. It's daylight outside here.
Man,
He's just going to another panel. He does this all the time and just goes.
I know. So cool, that slut.
We're not good enough for him anymore.
I'm definitely no better.
If you can't put up with the stigma, then don't be a freak.
It's because I chimed in on free will. It ruins Joe every time.
So someone
Joe
was
wants
saying
free will.
that
Go
in order to have a better free will, you have to not
Give up on the illusion that you're in charge of everything, like some kind of divine god.
So what I was
admit
trying
that
to
you're a
explain-
meat suit.
In order to have free will, you have to give up your free will. Is there something like that?
You don't have it, so you're not really giving up anything. You're giving up
We
the
don't
illusion
have-
that you're in control.
So to be clear, I'm a compatibilist. I ultimately believe that there's only the material reality. There's no duality, right? So we are just substance. But and I'm using this analogy very loosely, just to be clear, because there's a lot of ways that this doesn't work. But
Okay, that's cued me to pick on it unfairly. Go ahead.
just let me finish then. So
I'm kidding, Mel. I'm kidding.
In terms of Denison's analogy, it wasn't too bad in terms of the software hardware thing. Although I would argue that our hardware is developed in such a way that the only thing that can explain how it works is software, and we've become virtual emulators of every device.
But the software is hard in this case.
Pause.
I
But
think
no,
if
you
it-
can say the same thing about the computer then.
Sometimes it's soft and wet.
No, because okay, sure, yeah, because
there's
the
electrical
bits,
signals.
the bits on the hard drive are where the operating system resides. So yeah,
And it's the history. It's the fact that it can store that memory.
Right. Fair
and
enough. Fair
use
enough.
it. And if there's anything that our brain has, it's not just digital computation; it's analog and mixed, and more importantly, mixed signal computation, which really
would
adds
make-
to the complexity that you can have.
Which would
Oh, it's not me.
I didn't actually understand the instructions that came with that one. So, Rocky, that's what you get for looking conspicuous 5 minutes.
Conspicuous.
Shout
so
out
then
to
your
Mark.
your free will would be heuristics.
What
then.
did you mean by this, though? What did you mean by
The topic that people bring up around Mel constantly.
Oh, shit. Get back
you.
up here.
But I was okay with that.
Did I bring it
Get
up?
out of here.
I forgot about it.
This guy.
So if I guess what it is, then I immediately become victim to the.
Yes, you will ruin everything.
I sacrifice myself on the altar of the $5, right? Are we talking about trans issues? Is that what
We're
we're
talking about transmissions or grape drinks.
Well, I didn't get kicked yet,
That
so
was the first one right there.
maybe that wasn't it.
Yeah,
Shut
so
the fuck up. Take a hike, bitch.
Yeah, so what you were saying earlier about accepting that you don't have free will gives you the closest thing to free will. I believe that too. Like, I think once you understand that it's just your brain's analysis of pathways, you come to an understanding that you need to put in as much analysis as possible.
Right, and based upon what Mel is saying, I think I have a better term for it too now, because it's essentially heuristics. So it's not the operating system, it's not the basic input-output system, it's not even an application. It's basically just like a daemon that runs all the time, observing the current state of the machine. And if that daemon could give feedback to the operating system, it could change the output.
Can you give me access to your kernel?
That's hot.
This ain't that kind of live stream.
Shit.
So interestingly enough, this is kind of what, to me, this is how I think of free will as being learning how to do more things. And I know that sounds weird, but think of it like never mind. I'm just gonna bore everybody. I'm gonna shut the fuck up.
That's already happened. You
Worst
might as well
TED
continue.
talk ever.
Yeah, definitely.
Mel, you're growing.
I agree. I agree.
But okay, but it's worth noting, like, we're not just fruit flies, right? So we can't just be purely deterministic. And,
Right.
and like in the oldest definition, I realize that like the it's kind of changed, but I think like the idea of it being non-spontaneous or whatever, like since I was a kid, I always like, since I'm ADHD, I'm always like, where did this thought come from? Why did I start thinking about this? And then I would think back like how I got those thoughts. And I've never once had a thought that didn't come from the other. So I 100% agree that like there's always a timeline that's happening in our brain, but I don't think that it's always based on what happened the last moment. And I think that breaks the deterministic.
No, I believe that the choices that you think you make are led by your brain's analysis based on previous outcomes of other situations and stuff that have happened that are outside of your control, because that's the only understanding of choices going forward.
So what would happen?
A dose of Rocky knowledge, wisdom.
A male or female hoe is you hoe around so much, and then you want to settle
fucking
down
hoes,
and find
man.
one hoe, one wife, and then you got to compare all them hoes with your wife, and then you got there. Oh, this my wife isn't as good as that one hoe I had back in the day, so that's why you find one woman to stick with her. Don't hoe around, because then you're gonna be looking for the best hoe, and you'll never find the best hoe. If you're with your wife and you know she's not cheating on you, and the pussy juice is not that bad. But if with your hoe, you ain't gonna want none of that pussy juice. She's a fucking hoe. Jeez. That's why you have one wife, so you can suck on the pussy.
He's waving that vape tip like it's a wand.
But if you're with a hoe,
Why do I feel like I was on this panel?
I'm pretty sure that was a
problem
pipe.
with being a hoe.
Maybe I'm crazy.
But yeah, okay. So I figured out how to wrap it up in that time. So since we are essentially
Figured out how to
capable
wrap it up.
of imagining anything and also receiving
first
any
time
input and process and thinking about it, that would mean that we'd have to be a computer that has the architecture to handle any possible sensory input. Rather, I think instead we have an open architecture that does not have predefined functions, but rather functions that are defined by what we learn, and that's what free will is.
So
Is
you
the process
think the
of learning.
architecture of humanity is open source? So then, like, you believe in
I like-
eugenics?
I like your definition. I think it's true, but I don't like the word free will then, because it's not
Yeah,
free
it's
and it's
not.
not will.
No humbug.
Well,
It's learned chaos.
Right.
I think that depends on how good we get at overcoming our instinct and our biological imperatives. So it really comes down to, like, it. You know, some naked chick walks down the street and you get a hard on. Do you need to chase after her to see if she's interested, or do you just go about your business and think,
I can't wait to get my dick wet.
Exactly.
That was perfectly timed.
But you think, you know what? She's probably not going to be faithful to me, a woman like that, and I want a faithful woman, so I'm just going to go and, you know,
It's just
keep doing what I'm doing.
That's just
Right?
more learned stuff, though.
Yeah, my brain understands that it wants dinner more than it wants jail, so I keep
Actually,
walking.
that's
But-
a
but
really
how-
good point, Mel.
but
What
how
is the
else-
standard of resistance at that point?
But see, like, I think you're turning free will into something that means knowing with all knowledge is a priori.
I don't know about knowing. Experienced.
What is the
Again,
causation for refusal to go along with the program?
The causation.
Yeah.
Well, I think that when we're talking about thoughts in the brain, there is no such thing as a singular pathway that a thought occurs on. There's many pathways, and these things compete with each other, right?
Oh,
So
okay,
these
okay, I got
these aren't like just binary things. These aren't just like logic gates. There's a lot of different factors at play. There's something actually called memsistence. It's being explored now for neural networks. And it seems like neurons are really good at changing the way that signals propagate based on this. And it has to do with having time in them. So what I'm saying is that a neuron itself isn't even deterministic, because you can't even know what a neuron's going to do the next 20 minutes from now unless you've known its entire history. And that
Right.
and so I don't think there's anything in the brain that operates informatically that's set in stone, as opposed to a computer where we make the architecture to handle informatics in a certain way. That's
So
what I would call
you're saying
deterministic.
that it takes intelligent design to build a computer, and it takes
No.
intelligent design to build a human being.
No.
So actually affirms the existence of God.
It takes
about 9 billion years of evolution.
Now I'm going to suck my own dick.
It takes something that seems counterintuitive for something like the brain that handles information to have no architecture that in its form defines any information.
Okay, well, this has been fantastic. Thank you so much for having me, Dusty. I think I'm gonna head out. I'm EOD696. Come catch me on fucking YouTube.
EOD, real quick.
What?
Why did the intelligent designer give us a random useless organ that only kills us?
Your penis is not useless.
No, it's the appendix.
Appendix.
All right, cheers, Flo. I'll see you later.
I mean,
Later.
penises do only kill men in a lot of ways.
This is a fantastic time for me to go to sleep as well. Final
so-
thoughts. I know I'm going to raid people somewhere, so that, and he frequently has panels, so you might hang in there. And you go with the raid. I'll put the link to that backstage as well for the panelists. Yeah, good talk. Anybody got final thoughts they want to get off?
Nah. Thank you.
Sub to Denizen X.
Sub to Denizen X, indeed.
Sub to your dom.
Make sure you hit that bell too, because I go live sporadically. So
yes,
don't sub to me. I'm disgraceful.
Definitely gonna sub.
Where are you sending us?
You can't sub to a sub.
I'm sending people to not London. The fucking man, just get over there. Hold on. Get out of here, people.